Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer here, back with another episode of Your Favorite Game. Joined by the two best people I know. This
Oh.
host is not yet rated, George Foster.
That's better. Hello.
And she still thinks Beyond Good and Evil 2 is real, Stacey Henley.
Hello. That is true.
Pretty psyched for Beyond Good and Evil?
Yeah, I have to wait until Scalebound comes out, but after that,
Zing.
I'm locked in.
Gamers, please forgive the scruff. I've just gotten back from Summer Games Fest, and boy, are my thumbs tired. After 3 days of grinding games and watching trailers, I thought maybe today we should talk about trailers for an hour.
Yes, please.
I have illness in my brain.
I love trailers.
This
is a show for me.
Part of our job is watching trailers.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Probably an unhealthy amount of our job is watching trailers. But our big events, our big community events of the year are centered around trailers. It's a huge part of this business. I would say at this point, bigger than film trailers. Like, it's so core to the whole gaming business.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think with game trailers, you have that sort of maybe I'm not as tuned into movies, but you have the air of speculation of, will this game show up? Like, I think you do.
Right.
Maybe I'm just not clued in.
No, you're right. There's not really any shows that have that energy. Like, obviously there's CinemaCon, but that's very insular. Like, they don't release those trailers until like a couple of days or a week, or sometimes they never actually release the CinemaCon version of the trailer. Whereas with the Game Award, which is the biggest one, but also Summer Game Fest and Open Night Live and all those kind of gaming showcases, a lot of people are watching, even with the Game Awards, not really to see who wins Game of the Year or Performer of the Year or Action Adventure of the Year. Is Kojima going to be there? Do you know, are we going to see a big one? I think for a long time was Zelda going to be there. Eventually, it was obviously Silksong. And then last year we had a load of surprises because Naughty Dog had their new game. Okami was there.
The Witcher 4.
Witcher 4 was a really big one. There was a couple of other ones as well that I remember at the time. Our Colossus, that new game, the robot game.
Yes, yeah.
There was so many things that you watch and you know, like, I feel like I've actually seen a glimpse of what's coming next as opposed to just adverts. And that is the distinction, I think. There are some game trailers that, in part because of the way they're revealed, and in part just because games tend to be far more anticipated than movies, the trailers themselves don't really feel like adverts, they feel like events. When the GTA 6 trailer dropped, it wasn't just, there's a new advert for GTA out. It was as if we were further in the GTA story. You know, whereas I don't really feel it for any... I love film, and I was really connected to cinema as well. Like, I don't really feel that for many trailers. If I watch it and go, that's cool, I'll show someone, but I don't really feel like I'm part of the story or the saga. I just feel like I've seen a really good advert. Yeah,
I think the closest thing you get is the Super Bowl. I think that's the closest thing you get to anything like a Game Awards.
Or the Marvel San Diego Comic-Con.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah, Hall H and all that.
Yeah, but stuff like Summer Games Fest and the Game Awards as if it was just 2 hours of Marvel trailers, right? Like,
yeah.
That's how big of a deal it is. And
Game of Christmas. That's what it is. I love it.
Christmas. At Christmas when it's the Game Awards as well.
Yeah, we tend to get a little jaded, especially when the trailers are largely not showing us video games. They're just some company made a really cool short film and then they slap the name of a video game on it.
Mind's Eye.
Oh boy. Oh god. I don't have enough time in this episode to get into Mind's Eye right now. But I definitely still enjoy it. I enjoy complaining about it too, but I do like the big sensational trailers, and it wasn't hard to think of a whole bunch of like really pivotal, important trailers. Stacey, you mentioned like the trailers being part of the story of the game, and I think like I wrote a piece about Pragmata earlier, and the first thing that came to mind was like each trailer we had seen and when it released, because that's like the history of the game as much as, you know, the development or the release of the game itself. So there's a lot of infamous trailers, a lot of trailers that stick out, and that's some of the stuff I want to talk about today. I know I said this last week, maybe I say this every week, but I'm wondering if this is the week me and George have the same game.
I don't think so, because mine. I will say before we start, this is the biggest list I think I've had for this, because they just kept
shortest list
coming.
I've ever had.
They just kept coming. Like, there are so many good trailers. I guarantee yours is on my list, Eric. I think that's where we'll be.
Yeah.
But the one I thought of that is my final pick, just it kind of crystallized. I was like, yeah, that is it. I think that's a perfect trailer.
All right. Well, I've got a fun quiz to do later, so I think we should jump right in. Stacey, it's your turn to go first. What is your favorite video game trailer?
My favorite video game trailer is one that I picked before I started working in games, because you are right. Like, we watch these as a kind of obligation for work. And I've been around, especially George, when like there's been a reveal. I remember Sora in Smash being a big one that has really gotten people excited. That when we've been like in a call, like covering and deciding what to do for news and things. And there probably hasn't been a massive one for me, like a game that's come out of nowhere, and I've been really shocked by. So I'm still waiting on the new Tomb Raider to really give me that moment of, oh, am I going to care about something for once? So I've gone for a game trailer that's always stuck with me, because I think it's a really great trailer. It's not even a game that I love. But I always kind of remember as, I don't know, feeling attached to it before I'd even played it. And that game is Dead Island.
I knew it. I knew Dead Island was going to come up.
Me and Stacey picked the same one.
Oh, no.
No way!
I love the Dead Island trailer.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm glad George didn't, because we would all have the same.
No, it's not even on my list. I did think of it, but...
For people who haven't seen the Dead Island trailer, it's not actually that much like the game, which probably would lose points for it. But like I say, I didn't work in games at the time, so it was a really like absorbing trailer for me. It starts with this little girl who's like dead on the lawn. You actually start with a close up of her eye, and this really zoomed down. You see blood all over her face and all over her arms. And it goes in slow motion in reverse, so you see her kind of fall out of a window, and then once you get into the room, you see her jumping on this guy's back and biting him. You kind of realize, oh, she's a zombie, and there's other zombies in the room that are like clawing at her and clawing at him, and this kind of violent carnage. And it goes back further and further, and it's the dad and the daughter are like trying to survive this plague. Like, he's rushing through the hotel, so it's set in a holiday resort. That's what Dead Island's about. And you see this kind of story go backwards from he's carrying her and very kind of vulnerable, and you see all this kind of almost balletic violence exploding around her. And I remember watching it over and over again, like as a kid, because I was not even like going on YouTube, because I wasn't a weirdo watching dead children. But you know, it was on television a lot, and it was one of those ones that my parents, who are a little bit squeamish, were like, should you be watching this? Should we turn the television off when this thing kind of comes on? And it really has stayed with me as a example of a game that has been prepared to tell a story with its trailer and do something that is, I think, moving and artistic, and not just a kind of, we have this gun and we have this. And then you play Dead Island, and it's not really anything like it. It's like it's basically a comedy. It's an action comedy. Yeah. The theme tune for which is "Who Do You Voodoo, Bitch." It's a very like irreverent, over the top kind of game. But that initial trailer, I think, for me, really drew me into wanting to experience this thing, just because it felt like it had something to say. Even if the actual game maybe doesn't back that up, I still think the trailer stands as, you know, this is on its own something that has been created to represent the game. And I could have picked games that I've spoken with Red Dead a lot of times on the show. Red Dead 2 is a great trailer. I love Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2 has a brilliant trailer. You know, I could have picked those. I could have picked some of the kind of somewhat exciting reveals that we've had at that time that I've been wearing of Crash, maybe a big one, because I really want Crash to come back.
Yeah.
But there hasn't really been a moment that has made me go, I actually would watch this trailer in isolation, away from my anticipation of the game. You know, I love the trailer for Red Dead 2, partially because I really loved Red Dead 1 and really wanted to play Red Dead 2, and then I played Red Dead 2 and I loved it even more. So that's a special trailer, because it reminds me of playing the game. And I don't have that with Dead Rising. I don't watch it and go, do you remember when I was like in the labs looking for the axe? I just don't care. It's the trailer itself, I think, is really special.
Yeah, it's so brilliant in its construction because it's not just a scene played in reverse. It's paired with it starts at the end and goes backwards, but it
Mm.
also starts at the beginning and goes forward, and they meet in the middle.
Yes.
So like storyboarding that and working out the timing of that is a really difficult thing to do because you're not just dealing with like two ends of a scene that have to meet. One is slower than the other. There's like
Yeah.
a time dilation factor. And on top of that, just the way that it unfolds, and you make these little realizations with
Mm.
every beat. Because the first shot is a dead girl on the ground with a guy on fire walking backwards behind her. And you're like, that's crazy. A second later, you see her start to rise up and you realize it's going backwards. That's like the first realization. Then it cuts to that little girl alive running down a hall from zombies. And you're like,
Mm.
this is a zombie game. The second realization. Then you see her fly back into a window that she flew out of. And that's when you figure out how she died because she's latched onto a guy's back biting him. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, sometime between when she's running from the zombies and when she died outside, she turns into a zombie. And I'm going to see that happen at some point. Then you find out the guy she's latched onto is her dad. And it's just like keeps unfolding this narrative every second of this trailer. And when it ends in the middle is when the little girl makes it to the hotel room. She's trying to escape. She's trying to get to her parents. And the dad opens the door and reaches down and picks her up. But when you see it in reverse, instead of reaching for her, he's letting her go and they're falling away from each other. Oh, it's so good. It has this super wanky thing where it shows family photos after that, which it totally doesn't need. It really should have just ended with their hands coming apart in reverse. It actually makes it worse that then it's like them taking family photos on vacation. But yeah, it's just so brilliantly constructed and clearly just like a great animation studio with like make a cool zombie short film, completely unrelated to the video game. But still, like, yeah, it's so cool and yeah, it's unforgettable.
Yeah, that's the example I always hear. Like, even people not within like the gaming sphere, people who just like don't play games that much, people have seen that trailer. You know, I think it's it's a thing of its own. I think at this point.
Yeah. Good choice.
It's just become like an iconic thing.
And you know, they tried to do something cool with the second one too. I don't think it's bad.
I like the second. Yeah, I really the one where he's like the runner turning into a zombie.
Yeah,
I think that's better because it's tonally accurate. You know, like it's still clever. It's still a smart trailer, but it's not like just false advertising.
Yes, yeah, I like the second one too. I think they had to do something. They had to shoot for iconic again. You know, which is like if you're trying to be iconic, you can't be iconic, right?
Yeah.
But the expectations were high, and I think what they did was really cool. The runner like sort of nonchalantly jogging through the zombie apocalypse while absolute chaos unfolds around
slowly
him.
Turning. Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's gory. It's funny.
Goat Sim did mock that, because people for a bit believed it was another Dead Island, and it's a goat. It's like, ugh, hate it when they do that.
Yeah, another good trailer. All right, George, you ready to jump in?
I am.
I have no idea what you're about to say, and it better not be Dead Rising. George,
no.
What is your favorite video game trailer?
My favorite video game trailer, let me take you back to E3 2018. So for a long time, there have been rumors about a certain zombie game making a comeback. Not Dead Rising.
Please.
A certain zombie game making a comeback, getting a remake perhaps. And then out of nowhere, Capcom announced Resident Evil 2's remake with an excellent trailer. So, like, I don't talk about Resident Evil that much, but I was thinking about it and I was like, this is just the perfect trailer. It has the misleading intro with the little rat, so you have no idea what game it's going to be. It has the slow realization that there's zombies, the guy eating someone. You have the, I wouldn't call it a Marvel cameo moment, but you have the oh my god, there's Leon Kennedy. Then there's actual gameplay footage. It's confirmation of a long-awaited project. And then I think the bit that cemented it for me, they had the guts to just be like, yeah, this comes out in a couple of months. This is
Yeah.
January next year.
Hmm.
Like, I know it's not the most. I have other examples where, like, oh, I could have said the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, because obviously. But to me, this stands out as like how to do a trailer right. You show gameplay, you have the excitement, you have the teasers, and you have a release date. Like, it's just a perfect trailer. I don't think you can do better.
I don't actually remember this at all. I love 2 remake. I love the original 2, and I was definitely hyped for it, but I don't remember this particular
If you saw
trailer.
it, you'd be like, oh yeah, that was it. I think
Uh-huh.
it was definitely upon reflection. Like, it's not the first trailer that came to mind, but like, for me, for someone who had like been following the rumors for so long, I think this was before I worked at TG as well. I think this was just casual watching.
Yeah.
The rumors of Resident Evil getting a remake were so strong that it was just like, oh my god, they're doing it. And in the moment of time for the series where it's like they just done Resident Evil 7, that had gone well, but we didn't know the future of the franchise. It was like, are they going to keep doing first person? And for them to go, no, we're going to do basically everything. We're going to do third person, first person, reinvent the series. I think Resi 2 is kind of where that solidified. Because Resi 7 could have just been a one-off, you know, that could have been one good game
Sure.
in between 6 and whatever crap came next. But this kind of said, like, Capcom is confident. They know what they're doing.
They're going to
This
keep
is the future.
remaking the games we love, and we're going to say thank
I know,
you.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you.
But
I
I don't
do
even
remember thinking that Leon kind of looked like Play-Doh.
Yeah, I remember thinking it was
That
like,
took me a while to get used to.
yeah, it is a pretty drastic character
I think
change.
it's fine now. I still
Yeah.
obviously prefer Leon from 4, and I'm glad that we got something kind of in between for 4 remake, I guess.
Yeah. I think as well, it's just, I think even though Leon, when I think back on that trailer, I'm like, okay, Leon doesn't quite look like Leon, but you still have like the Resident Evil iconography. Like, you can still tell it's Resident Evil. And I love a good bait and switch where it's like, oh, a mouse game. You're playing as a mouse. And oh, it's something violent and bloody. And oh, it's Resident Evil. I love those
Yeah.
moments.
I think a lot of trailers have that though, where the characters don't quite look like how they like end up looking. Like Arthur
Yeah.
Morgan
Oh,
in the
God,
Red
yeah.
Dead 2 trailer is a big one. I remember Game Awards, I want to say 2022, possibly 21, when Alan Wake 2 was there. And there was a big debate of like, this guy looks like Bradley Cooper. No, he looks like Dan Stevens. No, he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. This
Yeah.
isn't Alan Wake. And then the game came in and I was like, oh yeah, that's Alan Wake.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
It's just changed a lot. Big
Yeah.
visual upgrade.
I mean, we saw that with Ciri and The Witcher. 2 trailers, and they're completely different. She's been wokified and de-wokified. It's like, no, it's just a game trailer. Like, characters just look different sometimes. Like, trailers are really hard to make because you have to make them in-engine but not look like gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes the characters just don't look how they're going to look in the finished game. Sorry.
Yeah.
I also, this was second in line to my first pick, and I just want to mention it before I forget and we move on. But the Smash Bros. Ultimate Everyone Is Here
Oh,
trailer.
of course. Yeah.
I know we talked about that recently.
Before, yeah.
Just an incredible reveal. Like, that was, with Smash, the roster means so much to it, and there's always the rumors of like, they've cut, I don't know, Snake. They've cut Snake.
Yeah.
He's gone, and then to have him show up and be like, okay, third
You
party
just
is
kept
here.
going and going and going.
Yeah.
That was definitely a cultural moment. I remember I was on a set. We were on lunch and I was watching the stream on my phone, and people were just like gathering around me because I was started freaking out.
Yeah.
And all these people like Teamsters in their 50s, like union grip guys, and like the makeup girls, like all these different people were all so hyped for this Smash Bros. Reveal. It was awesome.
I mean, you could say any Smash trailer, and it would be like, it would work.
Yeah.
Like, I could say Minecraft Steve because it blew up the internet, and that would be like
The Joker one that opened the Game Awards was a
Yeah.
really
That was
cool
pretty
one.
cool. Yeah,
I miss Smash.
the bird and bear fake out.
Yeah, that was good. Sora,
was-
obviously. I know Stace mentioned
It was
but-
it was a good trailer because I remember watching it with you and you were like, it's not going to be Sora, it's not going to be Sora. And then there was the Mickey Mouse like keychain
Yeah.
on the
Oh.
keyblade that
Yeah.
the scream I let out. I cry so much at trailers. I should put that out there now in case it wasn't obvious, but I get really attached to these things. And, you know, again, I could have chose something that was really George coded, like, oh, Sparking Zero made me cry. Like, yeah, obviously, but I think Resi's just a good example of like how to do
that's
it
what I
right.
was saying. That's a reaction to the game itself
Yeah,
rather than the actual substantive trailer.
Yeah.
with Spartan Zero. I mean,
I had forgotten, George, that I guess Resident Evil kind of had a history of fake out trailers because at Summer Games Fest they pulled one on us.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Right.
that was really funny in the moment. And also like rewarding to actually see Resident Evil 9 or Requiem, but also as someone who like covers stuff as news to say, oh, this isn't going to be at this event, and then 10 minutes later show it, like real dick move.
I know
Capcom.
you already had the article up.
Yep, we have a very fast team, and we were not happy about it. But it was a fun moment though. We kind of all laughed after the panic.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I had forgotten they did pulled a fast one with that Resident Evil 2 trailer. Too.
Yeah.
Gotta always stay on your toes with these Capcom guys.
yeah.
Hey, can I pivot then? I know I already gushed about Dead Island, but can I do another one?
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. Eric, what is your favorite game trailer?
My favorite game trailer is... Oh, I've never talked about this game on the show. This is so exciting.
Oh.
My favorite video game trailer is Ghost Recon Wildlands.
What?
Wow.
That is out of left field. I will need
know.
reasons.
Out of left field for me, certainly, but this is a great trailer. So it is largely cinematic, but I think it falls somewhere in between Stacey's choice and George's choice in that it is very representative of what the game actually is, despite being a CG cinematic trailer. It starts with a little voiceover about, soldiers going to South America, doing some
soldier stuff.
Yeah. And it's focused on choices. And while the narration is explaining that there's different ways to get the job done, there's like a trail of blood coming out of this dead body, this guy with like a knife in his head. Blood runs out of him and it's running through a crack on the table, and a drop of blood falls off the table and turns into a guy skydiving. And this is our first...
I do remember this one. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So this is our first scenario. And it's like how to take down a drug kingpin, or at least like a minor kingpin. And this is the scenario where the guys are gonna skydive in, get a advantageous position. They're gonna snipe him through the window, and then just as the drug runners drive off, they're gonna chase him down and run the truck off the road and take him out. And then it cuts back to the table with the blood on it, and you see the blood like splitting and going different directions.
Yeah, I do remember this. This is a good trailer.
So the next like line of blood goes on to a big pile of cocaine, and like the blood like crystallizes on the cocaine. And now they're gonna do the stealth approach. So they come in at night, they're sneaking around, they're taking dudes out from behind. They kidnap the guy that they sniped. They call him the white hat. He wears a white cowboy hat. He's like the drug kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
They like kidnap him. They throw him in a trunk. There's this funny move where they slam the trunk on his hand and then slam it again when he pulls his hand back. And then it once again goes back to the table with the blood. One last path, and this is the go loud. And it's just them like going to war with this drug compound, just blowing everybody up. And that one ends with them leaving the white hat alive. They're like, he's a dead man walking, and they mission accomplished and leave. And then when it cuts back to this sort of like through line narrative, it's that the white hat guy getting tortured, for letting the gringos take his stash. And it turns out he's the one on the table and it was his blood.
Yeah.
It all comes together so well. And it's such a good representation of what that game is like, because I played the hell out of Wildlands with my buds, and it really did feel like that. Like, how are we going to approach this one? And you can go loud, you can go stealth, you can try to find the best position and take guys out one by one. Like it really is that kind of game. And then emergent things happen. The guy with the drugs get in their car and start driving away because you didn't take them out fast enough. And now the mission's a car chase. Like, it really was that kind of game. And I feel like that trailer not only like nailed what Wildlands was going for, but did it in such a cool narrative way.
I mean, you've just reminded me, Ubisoft actually have some fantastic trailers.
Oh, yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed 2's reveal instantly jumps to mind. Ezio, like up on the roof, and he drops down and he's that was cool. Brotherhood, the whole
Templar plays.
crowds. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is its whole
I
category.
do
They
love
have
the Tiny Templar
A
trailer.
lot,
It's
a lot of great
so-
Assassin's Creed. Yeah,
does not fit at all.
the Revelations one. That one was fun. Yeah, I think I like Assassin's Creed trailers more than I like Assassin's Creed at this point. But like Watch Dogs 2's reveal, this is proof that
Watch
they go
Dogs
on all
1
day.
had a great trailer too.
Yeah. I to be honest, I'm like, I'm against anything Watch Dogs 1. I feel like that's such a mark on the series as a whole.
I mean, for sure, it was definitely one of those bait and switch trailers.
Yeah.
like Dead Island.
But Watch Dogs 2, like, I feel like they came out the gate and they knew they had to do something a bit different. And that's what they did. Like, the trailer has such a different tone. Like, it's wacky, it's fun, it's like cool hackers instead of serious ones. Like, instantly set it up to be a different game, and I think it needed that.
Didn't that trailer have the dude riding around on the drone, like the Green Goblin?
Yeah. And it had a song that's on my Spotify playlist somewhere about hacking, I believe.
The Watch Dogs 3 trailer, though, was awful. I just want to
Yes.
say.
Yes.
Completely tone deaf.
Very
horrendous
bizarre.
trailer. For
Was
Watch
that
Dogs
the Legion one?
Yeah, and they read the poem about the Nazis.
Oh,
First they came for the trade
remember this.
unionists.
Yeah.
Go away.
That's Legion as a whole, just rough.
Then they came for the hackers and there was nobody left. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Chill out.
So we've learned that Ubisoft has some really good trailers and some really bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, Far Cry is a perfect example of that. There's amazing Far Cry trailers and there's horrendous Far Cry.
Yeah.
Wildlands does not get the credit it deserves. That's such a cool game.
Yeah, I balked at your suggestion, but actually I do remember that trailer and thinking it was cool. It's not my sort of game, so I feel like for me to remember a trailer, I do also have to have an impact from the game itself.
Sure, yeah, and like then Breakpoint came a few years later, and it was like a disaster. And then I
think Breakpoint's what I remember.
And then they just pretended that Ghost Recon doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
But Wildlands was really on to something. That was a very cool game. Okay, fancy a quiz?
Oh yes,
absolutely not. I'm terrible at the quizzes most weeks, and I'm just sat here. You guys, do you remember this trailer? I was like, no. I remember the game. The game came out and I played it.
Well,
George is going to do very well this week.
Well, I don't know. It depends.
Every week you say, "Oh, I never really win these quizzes," and then every week you win, you add one more to the scoreboard. It's not cute. It's okay.
No.
We'll see.
They're supposed to be fun.
They are.
Okay, but what if I told you this quiz is not about trailers?
Oh,
well, then I'm less excited. Okay, I guess.
You can't please all the people all of the time.
That's right. Today's quiz is about video game taglines.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Which is trailer adjacent.
I think so, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
I still think George will have a better grasp on this, but I like this.
Maybe. I have questions. I have questions tailored to each of you because I was sick of Stacey getting stomped, to be honest. You
had this whole speech about, I tried to make them fun, then you deliberately planned one to stop me losing.
We're doing classic multiple choice, George's favorite.
Yeah.
And today we have 8 questions.
Nice.
7 last week, 8 this week. What's going to be next week? Who knows? Okay. Here we go. Starting at the top. 3 of these taglines are actual Batman Arkham taglines.
Ooh,
one of them is I made it up. Or let's just say one of them is not the tagline of a Batman Arkham game. Let's say that. Okay. All right. Your choices are Welcome to the Madhouse, Evil Fears the Night, Your Enemies Will Define You, and Arkham Has Moved. George, you pick first. We'll go back and forth.
I think it's Evil Fears the Night. I don't recognize that at all. It sounds Batman-y, but I don't. The rest all seem like things I've heard.
I am pretty sure that Welcome to the Madhouse and Arkham Has Moved. I feel like I recognize those. What was the third one?
Your enemies will define you.
Oh, no, I think that's definitely true. So it's either Arkham has moved, which I'm less confident of now that I say it, or Evil fears the night. You know what? As last week, I didn't double up and ended up losing. And actually, I think I would have tied last week because I knew Pilot Wings and I knew another one I didn't go for because George went for it. So I am going to be a little bit dull this week. Not for every question, but for this question, I think it's right. I will go for Evil fears the night.
Great job. Both get a point.
Yes.
Evil
Nice.
fears the night is the tagline of Batman 89.
Oh.
Yeah.
It seemed too like fancy for the Arkham games. They're usually quite clever.
Arkham has moved was City. Your enemies will define you as Origins.
Yeah.
And Welcome to the Madhouse was Asylum.
Asylum.
That's Asylum.
Very good.
Yeah, I remember that one very vividly.
Okay. Tie game. Next question. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 has a interesting tagline. Here's 4 options. Which one is the actual tagline?
Okay.
Black by popular demand.
Okay, sure.
The future is black. It's not always black and white. Or once you go black.
Oh.
I know this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Sex or Stacey, she picks first.
I'm pretty sure black by popular demand is something that I've heard elsewhere. I don't think you've made it up. I think that it exists somewhere else in the ether. I feel like once you go black is the kind of thing that games wouldn't do these days, but possibly would have done back then. And then it's not always black and white, just seems like it would be a Call of Duty one. But I'm going to use a little bit of logic and I'm going to say that's not that interesting. If you had designed this around the idea that this is interesting, I'm not going to go for black and white. I will go for once you go black.
The future is black, please.
Oh, is that what it is?
It is the future is black.
I remember that.
When you were
'Cause it's
reasoning
in
it
the
out, you didn't say
future.
that one.
Yeah.
No, I dismissed that one kind of straight away. Once you go black is really clever though because it's the sequel. It's the sequel, so you're going back.
I would have loved that.
Oh my god!
Thank you. I mean, black by popular demand too. Also, good
that's
for
Black
a
Ops
sequel.
7's tagline. You heard it here first.
7, kill me. Okay, George is up 1. Next, these taglines all have the word die in them. That's what makes them similar. But one of them is not real. Okay. Here are your choices. If at first you don't succeed, die again. The friendly RPG where nobody has to die. You must be this tall to die. Or you'll never know unless you die.
I think the friendly RPG. I feel like I'm going to regret that, but
I'll give bonus points if you know the games.
You must be this tall to die. No.
Let me know if you need them again.
Die again sounds Souls-likey, I'm pretty sure. But
I'm pretty sure I know what die again is.
Go on, Stace. I've said mine. Go, you go for it.
Are we just guessing which one's which?
You're guessing which one is fake.
All right. Well, then I don't think it's if you don't succeed, die again. Because I think that might be Deathloop. Is my answer to what the question is not. What were the last two?
I'll just say them all. The friendly RPG where nobody has to die. You must be this tall to die. And you'll never know unless you die.
So stupid.
You must be this tall to die. Sounds like if there was it's like a theme park thing. I'm trying
Sounds
to think
Dead Rising-y to me.
That's what I mean. If there was there's not a Dead Rising, then like a theme park there was there.
Off the Record has a theme park, but I think I'm just being pedantic.
Yeah,
I'm just being a dick.
I think it's if you'll never know unless you die. I think is the fake one.
Okay, and George, you said the fake one was
the friendly RPG.
The friendly RPG where nobody has to die. The friendly RPG where nobody has to die is the tagline of Undertale.
that
Bloody
suits it pretty
Undertale.
well. That's a pretty good tagline for that.
Stacy, you nailed Deathloop. If at first you don't succeed, die again. So I'll give you a bonus for that.
Nice.
And then we were on the fence about You Must Be This Tall to Die.
Yeah.
That is Left 4 Dead 2's Dead Carnival.
Oh,
I knew it would be a fairground thing.
The
Which means the one that I picked.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite level as well.
Which means 2 points that round for Stacy.
Nice.
Yes. Left 4 Dead 2, all the levels are like movie posters and they all have a funny, quippy tagline. Very good. Tie game. Tied it all up.
Nice.
This next one will have bonus points as well.
Oh.
These taglines all come from games that start with the letter B, except one of them. So the title of the game starts with a B, except for one. I want to know which one. It's not a B game. Yep. Here's your choices. Tomorrow is in Your Hands. Horror Comes Home. Revenge Solves Everything. And Become Legend.
Oof.
I want to get first or Stacey?
One of them is not a B, isn't it? Right, it's me to
One
go
of them's
first.
not a B, yeah. Stacy, you can go first. You can talk it out if you want. I can give him again if you need.
Become Legend is something that I'm sure it's a game that I know. I've seen the trailer for it. I don't think it's Spider-Man, but I think it's that kind of ballpark. I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong, but do you know that one, George? You're like...
Yeah, I know 2 of these.
Well, you can't tell me because then obviously that would give away which one I'm going to go for, wouldn't it? Because I would know if they began with B or not. I think I'm actually just going to lock in Become Legend because I'm struggling to think of a B name that is close to the type of game I'm thinking of. So I'm going to lock in Become Legend as.
Oh my god! Did I say B?
Yeah, yes. You said B, and I was thinking 2 of these are not.
It's D.
Yeah,
D.
Oh, does that change anything? It was D.
I need to hear them again. Yeah,
I don't know why I said B.
That's okay. I mean,
my brain is broken. Yeah, these are all games that start with the letter D.
Yes. Okay.
Dog. Okay. Tomorrow's in Your Hands. Horror Comes Home. Revenge Solves Everything. And Become Legend. Yikes. D games.
Now Horror Comes Home is calling to me. I just don't know. Oh my god. I am curious that George knows them, so I'm going to throw him the mic and just take a gamble, and I'm going to switch this time to Horror Comes Home.
Okay.
Tomorrow's in Your Hands is Death Stranding. I'm pretty sure.
Sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing. We've got the baby and tomorrow. Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Become Legend is Destiny something. Maybe.
Oh, so not Spider-Man at all. I think that.
What was the one that wasn't Horror Comes Home, Eric?
Revenge Solves Everything.
That is Dark Side. The bloody where you play as death. What do they call that? What's that called again? Darksiders. That's Darksiders 2, I think.
Ooh.
Or 1. It's one of them, I think.
They both begin with D, which would mean it's Horror Comes Home,
yeah,
right?
I think it's Horror Comes Home.
Stabbed out of the air.
All right, let's go through them. So, Tomorrow's in Your Hands, of course. Death Stranding. Good job, George. Become Legend is Destiny.
I knew it. Yeah.
You must have seen that on enough posters.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Revenge Solves Everything is not Darksiders. It's Dishonored. Which means Horror Comes Home is Resident Evil 7.
I thought it was Resi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got
both.
A wash there, and then 2 bonus points for George there. So George is up 2.
That was based on Stacey's evidence, so I'm going to give.
You're going to give a point?
No, I'm going to give credit.
We both got the answer right, so
yeah.
We both picked the game. We both got a point for that.
Okay. Here's the next one. 3 of these taglines come from games that Stacy reviewed for the Gamer. And one of them is not.
Okay.
Can we guess which one it is?
No.
Here we go. Play Will Find a Way. Be Greater Together.
Mm-hmm.
You are You are what you eat, and the
I know that
real
one as
you
well.
is not enough.
I know 2 of those.
I know 2 of those.
Do you know the middle 2?
The first one, also, I think I know.
Well, you're first. You can say.
Yeah, I think Play Will Find a Way is Astrobot, right?
Ah,
Be
makes
Greater
sense. I
Together
did
is
review it.
Spider-Man
That's Spider-Man.
2.
Yeah.
You
Are what you eat.
You are what you eat. I cannot for the life of me figure out. But the fact you know it tells me that it's the last one, I think. Because I know you reviewed Astrobot and Spider-Man 2, if I'm right about that. So I think
did
it's
review those 2 games.
whichever is last, Eric. I've forgotten already.
The real you is not enough.
The real you is not enough. I think that's the one that Stacey didn't do.
I think you are what you eat is Bug Snacks, which I did review.
No!
I reviewed the expansion for it.
Oh, wait, I didn't say that.
So yeah, I will go for the real you is not enough.
Correct. You got them all. That does put George up 1 more point to 3.
What is the real you is not enough? What game's that?
That is Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
That's yeah, I didn't review that.
I thought the tagline for that was "fixed." The game is fixed now. Whatever. The hell
Quantum
it was.
Liberty's tagline was "Remember, the game is fixed."
Stupid.
But
stupid.
Cyber, I wouldn't know. I obviously didn't know because I didn't recognize it. I remember the Keanu trailer with like the worst thing you can do in Night City is get caught.
Yeah, you know what I found is some games have multiple taglines, which doesn't feel like you're allowed to do that. Okay, well, no surprise here. These are games that George reviewed, except for one of them. Here we go.
You review some really naff games. If this is,
I do review a lot of
the monkey and his magic spanner. I'm going to be so
George
annoyed.
things. Monkey.
Billy and his magic cape. I feel like that was one you gave us one time. I can't remember. Okay. Is one life enough to know Kung Fu?
I know that one.
Yeah.
Do you like hurting other people? Feel the beat and get psyched. And I think Stacey's going first.
Oh, I know all these.
So the first one is One Life Enough No Kung Fu is definitely Sifu. George reviewed Sifu, and fun fact for everyone, there was a patch released before the game came out that made it easier, and George, as a true games journalist, beat it on the hardest difficulty.
Oh wow, I've never heard that story before.
I will
ever.
paint you a picture. The sun was rising right here as I did it. It was incredible. Poetic moment.
And the last one I wrote now, so what was the last one again? I knew that as soon as you said it.
Get Psyched?
Oh, that's Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
Which
the
George
other ones
also reviewed.
The other ones were, do you like hurting other people and feel the beat?
Feel the beat. Feels like it would be a rhythm game, right?
Yeah, come on, Stace. This is obvious if you think about it.
Okay, so obviously the right answer is the do you like hurting other people, because George knows this game and therefore probably reviewed it.
That's what I'm going for as well.
I'll see if I can try and figure out. You didn't do the like Mia Samba de Amigo stuff. You don't do any of like the Persona dancing games. Oh my God! For people who are just listening on podcast, George just pointed to one of his many, many, many tattoos. This is his hi-fi.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is hi-fi. I mean, I'm saying yes. I might be wrong on literally all of them, but I'm pretty sure.
They're my answers. I'm going to get 3 points for things George knew instinctively.
I'm copying Stace.
I don't know what the other one is, George. Do you know George, that one?
Do you know what Do You Like Hurting Other People is?
No, I don't. Could you give me a hint, and then I can probably wheedle it. Doesn't have to count for the point, but I'm intrigued.
It's a game where you die in one hit.
Oh Christ. No, yeah, I can't get that.
Okay. Do You Like Hurting Other People is the tagline of Hotline Miami.
Another game I do like. I just know that's his tagline.
A George game, but not one George reviewed. Stacey closes the gap. We are back to tie game. No bonus points for the next one. These are all taglines from Leisure Suit Larry games. Except one of them I made up. So we'll see how this goes, okay?
I'm scared.
Here we go. Help Larry earn a BA in TNA. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Play this game, play it hard.
That's
Will
great.
Larry hit rock bottom or dock his little dinghy? Or the controller isn't going to touch itself.
Who's
going
first for this one?
Yeah.
George
The
will be first because I went first in the last one.
Yeah, George is going first.
I think it's play this game, play it hard. I think the others, the dinghy one stuck out to me as trying really hard, but I liked it so much I won't put it up for elimination. I think it's play this game.
The first one is help Larry earn a BA in TNA.
TNA.
That's
yeah.
excellent.
Don't say it's excellent. None of these are excellent, George.
I
They're
don't
clever.
know the Leisure Suit Larry series well enough to know all the places that Larry
As
has
opposed
gone
to me.
Well, what I was going to say is I assume there was at least one that was set in a college, and that's where the
There actually is, yeah.
BA comes in.
The Xbox-
See,
the
so you
Xbox
are an
360.
expert because you knew.
Well, I know one.
He knows the year. He knows
It
the
was
Metacritic score.
infamous. It was infamously bad. Everyone knows. I can't remember what it's called though.
Sure, yeah. Would be so I'm not going to go for the B and A one. I agree that there's so much depth to the dinghy one, and I think probably as a one set at sea, or something like that, or like at a camp maybe. But I am not going to go for play this game, play it hard, because it's a tie game. I think this is going to be late in the quiz, if not the last round. I will go for the game isn't going to touch itself.
The controller isn't going to touch
controller
itself.
isn't going to touch itself.
I think Stacey's got it actually.
Stacey's got it.
Fudge!
I made that up.
Wow.
Those other ones I couldn't have made up. Well, no, I couldn't have. I couldn't have made up Doc his little dinghy. That's
Yeah.
just-
I mean, it just in my head, I was like, "There's a seaman joke there. That if it's boat related, surely that's the obvious thing." I'm glad I didn't touch that anyway. But
all right, Stacey's up one. We're on our last question,
Ooh.
and the category here should be obvious as soon as I start saying them. So here we go. Now you're thinking with portals. Is the first one. Second one is Crush, Break, Rampage. Third one is Who is the strongest Street Fighter? And last one is Enter the Metro. If it wasn't clear to the audience, these are taglines that mention the name of the game.
The name of the game, yeah.
In the tagline.
Portal, Rampage, Street Fighter, and Metro.
But one of them
is fake, right?
One of them is
Yeah.
fake.
you're up first time, Steve.
Yeah. Do you know, Jill? I'm going to try and talk this out.
No,
Do you have any inkling?
I've got a guess.
Yeah,
as
I
ever,
think
I have a guess. but-
The Street Fighter, that might be setting myself up here. The Street Fighter one just instinctively sounds right. That sounds like exactly if I was in charge of doing the tagline for Street Fighter and it was 4:30 on a Friday, that's the one I'd be turned in. The Portal one doesn't really fit, and that surprises me because Portal is a very very well written. It's very funny. Everything kind of fits together. Valve is a very cohesive sort of company, so I'm drawn to that. But also, was it go into the Metro?
Enter the Metro.
Enter the Metro. Enter's even worse actually, because that's a pretty common thing. Enter the whatever, and then the Matrix, etc. And I don't think that necessarily suits what Metro is about. So much
I agree.
bigger than the system in the zone with the people and stuff. So I'm between Portal and Metro, which means it's definitely one of the middle two. But
the other
I
one
will
is
go...
Crush, Break, Rampage.
Yeah. I mean, the game's so old, they've just that needs to fit on the side of an arcade. That's what they've gone for. It's absolutely fine. I'll go for the Enter the Metro.
Okay.
Balls. I was really hoping you'd pick Portal because that is absolutely right.
It's tied, so you can go with this and we can...
No, Portal's absolutely right. I'm stuck on Street Fighter, to be honest. I feel like that sounds...
You wanted me to pick Portal because you know Portal,
Then
right?
you'd lose, yeah. I think Metro is the one that's false because it doesn't fit the series in my head. I don't think that's really... I don't really think that works for it, but I'm not going to just pick what you pick. I'm going to go for Street Fighter. I'm going to take a wild curveball because I just don't think it sounds like... It's just boring. I don't think that's Street Fighter at all. I don't think the name of the game is what it is. I don't think you really need to say that in the tagline as well. I'm probably going to be completely wrong, but that's my
Okay, here we go. Now you're thinking with portals. Yes, I'm surprised Stacey doubted that one. That's like the
Yeah, that's
catchphrase
iconic.
of Portal. Yes, that is correct. Enter the Metro, also correct. Sorry, no point for
Ooh.
Stacey there.
Come
And
on.
for a chance to tie it up and go to the bonus round, who is the strongest Street Fighter? I'm sorry, George, that is the tagline
that's so
of
dumb.
one of the
Is
many
Crush Break
versions of
Rampage
Crush
wrong?
Break Rampage. I made up. Yeah.
I would. It's so
interesting.
old. I would have just assumed that was it
Yeah,
as well.
it was.
Yeah.
I liked Rampage,
Gotcha. Hey,
Yeah,
Stacey
yeah.
won this week.
Woo! On the one thing I said I
Yay!
do well in.
on the basis of knowing that, like, a game that you reviewed that had Psych and the tagline was
Yeah,
Psycho.
come on, Eric.
I think if the questions had fallen the other way, you would. But to be fair, there was a few on my round that you got.
He
Yeah.
did.
I knew this
Yeah,
by
he
now.
got
Just take the
three.
victory, Stace.
Well,
Just-
wait a
just
second.
cheer.
You got
You've
3 on
won.
George's round, and he got 3 on your round. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
So there we go. That's that.
all
We just
good.
know each other so well.
Yeah.
That's true. We know what we reviewed, especially when one of us points to the tattoo of that game.
Yeah, why did I do that? Why did I give you that?
Before we wrap things up, there's a few trailers we have to mention, or people will get mad at.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's go through them. The Halo Reach Deliver Hope trailer.
Yep.
Absolutely
Fantastic
iconic. This is the one where the Marine is running with the bomb, and then
Mhm.
gets taken out, and then Master Chief is just standing over her, and then picks it up and flies it into the Covenant ship,
Yeah.
blows it up.
To that
and then-
end,
Iron
Halo
Man style.
5's trailer is really good as well. I know everyone hates Halo 5, but the trailers where Locke is like finding Master Chief on the ground, he's like, I can't remember what he said. He's like, now I'll finish the job, whatever.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool.
The Halo is that one live action?
Yeah, there's live action.
Yeah, it's a live
Yeah,
action
yeah.
trailer.
I think part of what sucks so much about that TV show is that we have all these amazing live action Halo trailers.
Hmm.
Because like that Halo Reach one is like, oh my god, this is what live action Halo should look like. Like we all have an idea of what live action Halo should be, and then it just wasn't that at all.
Here's a fun fact about that trailer as well. He keeps the helmet on.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah.
decision making.
And when you look at him, you're like, oh my god, that's Master Chief. Another one people talk about all the time is Brink.
Oh man, Brink.
Hmm.
Yeah, a
Jesus.
game that didn't quite turn out well, but had a very cool trailer.
I quite liked Brink. It was.
Of course you did. Obviously, Gears of War's Mad
Mad World.
World trailer. Maybe the most iconic needle drop trailer.
Yep.
It's a bit wanky if you ask me, but
Yeah,
people love that
it is a
one.
powerful trailer, though, isn't it?
yeah. Boy, Atomic Heart. There's a bunch, including Atomic Heart 2s.
Yes, we did talk about
I
this.
swear to God, they should stop making games and just make movies, because those trailers, what amazing worlds. You just want to be like, what's that all about? And then you play the game, and he's like, oh, suck my butthole. It's just weird. It's weird. It's really weird how good those
Atomic
trailers
Fart,
are.
I think you played, Eric. That's
Yeah,
not the same.
Atomic Fart. Yeah. But man, am I right or am I right? Those trailers are incredible.
Yeah, you are right. There's not. I don't think it's quite as you described it. There's not quite the grace of writing in the full game.
Yeah, the full game is like, get the fuck out of my way, dumbass. That's
true.
the whole
Suck
game.
my
He's so it's just a nasty person.
Yeah.
In the
Like,
game.
what the hell's wrong with this guy? Yeah. And the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer is pretty cool.
I'm dying.
Unfortunately,
I'm
really
dying.
is.
With the monkey, and it's pretty
On
cool.
the
I like that
train,
one.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just random F bombs from the monkey. I love it.
Yeah, he's like a Cockney monkey or something.
He aims
I like
a gun,
that.
he's like, suck my butt.
He's like, suck my butthole, idiot. All right, George, calm down. Any other ones?
Well, I mentioned before the Red Dead 2 trailer, the kind of team up trailer where you see them all. I think it really expands on the saga, the kind of Western storytelling. The game obviously takes it further, so I think the trailer doesn't get as much credit. But I love that one. And I think to that end, something that I think George will especially be an expert on. we mentioned it briefly at the start with GTA 6, but like really so many of GTAs, like
I was
GTA
gonna
5
say
had the
GTA.
same kind of arc with it. GTA 4 had the same kind of like release schedule, to the point where when the first GTA 6 trailer came out, everyone was like, let's look back at the GTA 5 and 4 trailer and look at the
Yeah.
second one and see how much it's changed, see what we can learn, kind of figure out how much of this was in the game, what's going to happen. And I think they become such events. I think they dropped one of them like the day before the Game Awards. They were like, no, we're the story.
Yeah.
We are the sheriff in
Yeah.
this town, baby.
Yeah.
The
They
GTA
just so
5 one.
much.
I'm sure you can all finish the quote. Why did I move here? I
Nope.
guess it was because of the weather. Okay, everyone else in the world can do that one. It's the GTA
Everyone else
5
in the
reveal
world can do
trailer.
that one.
It's iconic. I
Yeah.
do also have to say Kingdom Hearts as well. I know.
You
Dead
don't
Horse.
All
have
of
to,
them,
actually.
or-
You just use
Dead
to.
Horse meets Stick. No, I do have to. But I will say in reverse, Square Enix went so far with Kingdom Hearts 3's trailers, like it just ruined the whole plot of that game. But the first trailer, the reveal, incredible. Everything else, you just knew everything that happened. You could guess it all. So, you know,
Stacey, you remember the tagline of Red Dead 2?
Something like it's team up. I get the gang together or
I
something.
think it's Outlaws for Life.
Outlaws for
Yeah.
yeah. And that's one of the chapters in the game, and it's the sunset where it's all the silhouettes of them, and the cowboy hats and the guns, and you've got Javier with his guitar.
George, you remember the Kingdom Hearts tagline?
Friendship is fun.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's worse. It's worse than that.
You'd have to tell me.
It's like who will you meet next, or something like that.
I
It's
like
you,
that. Yeah,
you never
no,
know who you'll meet next.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's cute.
Also, in the vein of the Mad World Gears trailer, the Dante's Inferno Ain't No Sunshine Super Bowl trailer.
Yeah. What a again another game
What
that
an
just didn't
odd
live up
time
to
in our
that.
lives.
Yeah, cool trailer though.
Cool trailer, weird game.
All right. Well, I know we often end the show talking about Dante's Inferno, so I apologize. Those are our favorite video game trailers, but we want to know your favorite video game trailers too. So get in touch, drop us a comment, reach out, and that's going to be it for this episode of Your Favorite Game. We'll be back next week with another new episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and visit us at thegamer.com. That's The Gamer. No spaces.